It's a new year with new gear, and we have the newest addition to the DX series of DAPs from iBasso, the DX240. Wait, what? Didn't they already release the DX300? Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our latest reviews and videos on all your favorite audiophile gear right here. No, it's not a typo, folks. Here it is, the DX240, which was released after the DX300. Math is hard sometimes, but the only numbers that matter here are the specs under the hood of the device. Spoiler alert, they don't disappoint. The DX300 remains their flagship player, but the 240 actually closes the gap on performance while widening it with the price point. There's a lot to cover here, from the device itself to the swappable amp cards, so let's get started. The DX240 is a sweet little player. Considering other flagship players on the market have the weight of a brick, it was a nice surprise that this didn't. iBasso players are never heavy in the first place, since they utilize aluminum alloy for the body construction. It's remarkably durable and strong despite being so lightweight. Don't worry, it still feels premium. With precise machining and the curved frosted glass back panel is sleek. Much like the frosted backs of iPhones, it's no surprise that I called iBasso the iPhone of the DAP market way back when I did the review for the DX300. It fits. Let's talk about one of the nicest things about this device, the screen. iBasso blows every other DAP manufacturer out of the water when it comes to displays. It's large with a near bezel-less design with a 5-inch 1080p HD screen. Colors are vibrant, screen is responsive and snappy thanks to the Snapdragon 660. You can be assured that album covers will look dynamic and text sharp. It's the screen to beat, and there's no worry of anyone else remotely coming close. The layout of the music player is typical of an iBasso player. On the top of the DAP, you'll find a SPDIF port and the USB-C charging port. Left side is the lone micro SD card slot. Bottom of the device is the 3.5mm line out, 3.5mm unbalanced headphone port, and a 2.5mm balanced headphone port. The right side of the DAP is the volume knob, track back and forward, and the play pause buttons. Controls are clicky and responsive as well, including tight-fitting headphone jacks. I would have liked to see the inclusion of a 4.4mm here, but we'll have to do with the 2.5 for now. More on that when we talk about amp cards. iBasso also includes a silicone case, so it's nice to see some other protection included other than the plastic screen protectors. Sound quality is a funny thing when talking about iBasso DAPs. The whole design is based on being able to change the sound of the music player depending on the swappable amplifier module. iBasso was the first big high-end music player manufacturer that implemented a module design for their DAPs. This was revolutionary in the sense that it allowed users to customize their players according to their specific wants for sound and inputs. Giving the audiophile the choice to tailor their sound is apparently such a good idea. Now even Estelle and Kern is doing the same with their design of their popular SC180 music player with swappable DAT cards. The DX240 comes equipped with the AMP1 Mark III module, which supports a 2.5mm balanced and 3.5mm unbalanced headphone jack, as well as a 3.5mm line out port. The DX240 is compatible with AMP modules 1 through 8, which were designed for the DX220, and you can equip special module faceplates to keep the form factor of the new DX240 design. Backwards compatibility is a huge plus here, as it helps to retain the value of your other amp cards if you have them. Each card has various features which customize the tone and configuration of the DAP, such as the AMP7 and AMP8 offering a high voltage swing, which improves dynamics and headroom to the music. The cards feature different I/O ports, the AMP7 being an unbalanced output and the AMP8 a balanced output with a 4.4mm. The only trade-off to higher output AMP cards is the quicker battery discharge, aka shorter battery life. Both the AMP7 and 8 cards provide an estimated 7 to 7.5 hours of use. The AMP1 Mark III, which comes packaged with the 240, will provide an estimated 11 hours of continuous music playback. Customization is why iBasso remains one of the best music player manufacturers on the market. The other side of the equation is the ES9038 Pro flagship DAC chip. It's one of the best chips on the market and is equipped in other high-end devices like the X-Saber 3 Pro and Element X from Matrix Audio and the Estelle & Kern SE180 DAP. It's a very resolute DAC and provides plenty of detail and depth to your audio. To boot, the DX240 supports high-resolution 32-bit 768 PCM and native DSD12 decoding, making it an incredibly powerful and versatile portable music player. For my testing sessions, I paired the DX240 DAP with both the Meze Audio 99 Classics as a baseline and the Hi-Fi Man R10D headphones with a Black Dragon cable. You can read more in depth about my sound impressions in the written review, which we'll link to below. The DX240 is a true upgrade and update to the previous 220. They are similar enough products, but the DX240 just makes some great quality of life updates that brings it to the forefront of iBasso's DAP lineup. Yes, the DX220 had two ES9028 Pro chips, but the newer flagship level 9038 Pro easily outperforms the last generation chips, providing more detail, clarity, and overall definition. Measurements for total harmonic distortion, signal-to-noise ratio, dynamic range, and crosstalk are all improved with the ES9038 Pro chip specs. The DX220 came packaged with the AMP1 Mark II, which has a similar configuration as the newer Mark III that comes with the 240. All AMP cards designed for the DX series, except for the DX300, are backwards and forward compatible according to iBasso, and they have no planned obsolescence for future DX series products. Since this statement is not necessarily consistent with the DX300 model, time will tell that this holds true for future DX series product releases. With the new release of the DX240, however, I'm pretty sure your existing DX series cards will hold up a little while longer and will likely see newer amp variants coming down the pipeline soon. The DX300 is technically the flagship of the DX series from iBasso, and there are some notable differences between the two players. Firstly, the DX300 comes equipped with 6 GB of RAM to the DX240's 4, and the internal storage is doubled from 64 to 128 gigs. Both DAPs sport amazingly bright and sharp looking screens, but obviously the DX300 is larger display due to the size of the device. Both DAPs share the same Snapdragon 660 CPU, but the biggest difference comes from the DAC chips. The DX300 is equipped with quad CS43198 chips and has a warmer sound signature than the ES9038 Pro chip in the DX240, and provides more depth and transparency as a result. Thankfully, the flagship player also comes with a 4.4mm balance jack, a much improved connector over the 2.5 in our opinion, and something we wish was utilized more in the DAP market. Comparatively, the DX240 is still flagship level sound, so all things considered, you can't go wrong with either DAP as a top performing music player. The Black Dragon cable was the sweet spot for me, adding more warmth and musicality to the ES9038 Pro DAC. The Black Dragon boosted mid-range tones, providing a perceived added depth to the music and overall body. It was a great option, especially for a pairing with the Hi-Fi Man R10D. Of course, your pairing might be different, so feel free to contact us with your headphone information, and we'll be more than happy to provide a personalized cable recommendation for your headphones and the iBasso DX240 DAP. The DX240 represents amazing performance and value for the price. It's not a perfect player, but it provides a satisfying user experience with plenty of options for you to customize it according to your listening preferences. It's strange to me that the flagship player is only $250 more, but you also have less options for amp modules with a much larger device as the trade-off. Personally, I consider the DX240 to be the better value here, with a smaller and more portable device while still maintaining great performance and specs. You'll have the larger selection of backwards compatible amp cards to choose from, and it includes one of the best DAC chips on the market with the ES9038 Pro. We'll include a link to the full review below, which includes much more information on specs, comparisons, features, and sound impressions. If you like this video, feel free to hit that thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to get alerts on the latest videos from Moon Audio. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and as always, thanks for watching.